The Rifleman. Starring Chuck Connors.
Pa, visitor coming.
Get inside, Morgan.
What's wrong?
You heard me, son. Get inside and close the door. Don't bother getting off.
I need help, Luke.
You came to the wrong place.
Maybe so, but I got no place left to go, Luke. There are 3 men on my trail, the Sherman brothers. They're gonna kill me for sure if somebody don't help me.
You were always good at running away from things. Keep running.
Is the boy here?
I swore a long time ago the next time I saw you, I'd kill you. Now, don't press your luck.
Maybe that's what you ought to do, then. I come here asking you for help, Luke. I guess I got no right to do that. And I won't do it again. You think I got a right to see the boy?
You got a right to ride off my property without being killed, and you got that right because I'm giving it to you. Now, get going before I change my mind. Didn't you hear me?
Who was it, Pa?
Someone who has no right being here, son.
Morning.
Good morning.
What can I do for you?
Wonder if you'd mind if I just help myself to that coffee.
Why, sure, go right ahead.
If you want any breakfast to go along with that, you'll have to go across the street to the Mallory house. I don't serve nothing here but coffee and law and order.
I'd settle for law and order if I thought it was as real as this coffee.
It's real in this town, mister.
That include protecting innocent people?
It does, if they're innocent.
Is that a promise, Marshal?
It's not a promise, it's an oath. The same one I took when I put this badge on.
Ever hear of Jeb Sherman?
Yes, I have. First time about 8 months ago when he killed the railroad agent. Last time about 20 minutes ago. Your name, Samuel Gibbs.
How'd you know that?
Got a telegram about 20 minutes ago. Here, read it.
I guess they're getting closer than I thought.
Figure they'll be in about midnight.
You want me to leave town, Marshal?
Mr. Gibbs, I just got through telling you my job is to protect the innocent, not chase them out of town.
All right. You'll need deputies. Sherman's pretty mean boys.
We don't have any trouble getting deputies in North Fork.
Well, you ought to know your own town. Now, if you don't mind, Marshal at Bensonville told me he'd send my reward money here. I'd like to get you to witness this will I made out, just in case. Some of that wording may not be all legal-like.
I, Samuel E. Gibbs, in case I get killed, and all the reward money that I got coming from turning in Jeb Sherman and all other things that I own to go to my grandson, Mark McCain. You're Mark's grandfather?
You know, boys, I never get tired of looking at this glass. It always reminds me of a man's life running out. Kind of makes you think, you know. Just like Ma said it would when she gave it to us.
Yeah. It sure made that sheriff up in Bensenville think, eh? That sand hardly started to fall down before he remembered what Gibbs fella ran off to.
Oh. Taking turns saddle sleeping all night may save time, but sure leaves your bones aching to rest. How far to North Fork, Mal?
The way I figure, we got just a couple hours ride to Sam Gibbs's funeral.
Careful, son. I promised Lou we'd bring her 6 dozen today.
I'm sorry, Pa. That one just slipped out of my hand. Pa, I can't help wondering about that man who came here this morning. I hardly even saw him, but I saw you. And I saw the way you looked after you talked to him.
How did I look?
Well, you looked like you hated him. I don't think I ever really saw you look that way before.
Son, hate's a terrible thing. It's something I don't want you to feel for anybody, if I can help it. And the man you saw this morning is probably well on his way to Mexico by now. Chances are we'll never see him again. Mark, I'd like to leave it at that.
All right, Pa.
Let's hitch up the buckboard and bring those eggs to Lou, huh?
Yep.
Well, it's about time the rest of the McCain clan made their way to town.
The rest of the McCain clan.
Oh, I shouldn't have told you. I think he wanted to surprise you.
Who do you mean?
See for yourself.
Who is it?
Why, it's your grandpa, Mark.
My grandpa.
I'm sorry you had to find out this way, Mark.
He's the man who came to the ranch this morning, isn't he, Pa?
Let's go outside a minute. Excuse us, Lou.
Why didn't you tell me who he was before, Pa?
Because I'd also have to tell you what he did. And I hoped I'd never have to do that.
Pa, I'm not a little kid anymore. I've got a right to know what's real, so... Well, so I can make up my own mind about things.
All right, Mark. What was real the night your mother was dying was that the doctor said the only medicine that might help her was in Oklahoma City, 90 miles away. Your grandfather came by that night, tried to borrow some money. I didn't have to ask him what for. I could see he was still sober. I told him to stay with your mother, that I was riding to Oklahoma City. She begged me not to go, son. She said, send Pa. She begged me, Mark. Well, I gave him the money for the medicine and helped him saddle up. He never came back. That was the last time I saw him until today. After I buried your mother, I only had one thought, Mark. To find Gibbs and to kill him. After a while, I realized that making a home for you was more important than tracking down a man and killing him for revenge.
Then he killed Ma.
No, Mark, he didn't kill her. But he might have saved her.
But that's the same thing as killing her, isn't it?
Lucas, where are you going?
Back to the ranch.
Without even seeing Mr. Gibbs?
That's right, Lou.
And what about you, Mark?
I'm going back too.
He came all this way, and he's risking his life just to see Mark.
Lou, this is something that doesn't concern you.
Well, it concerns me that he's liable to be killed, and Micah, too, if you leave town.
What's Micah got to do with this?
His job.
Lucas? I'm glad you're in town. Michael just sent me out to get you.
Howdy, Lucas. Pick yourself out a badge.
What's this all about?
Haven't you seen Mr. Gibbs?
What's that got to do with your handing out deputy badges?
Well, don't you know about the Sherman boys gunning for him? They'll be in town about midnight, I figure.
Well, that's his problem, Micah. Now, if you want my advice, you'll tell him what I told him. Keep moving.
You mean to tell me that this Gibbs fellow lied to Micah? He's not really Mark's grandpa?
No, I'm saying it doesn't make any difference. Now, look, Nils, if you're doing this for me, forget it. He isn't worth it.
Well, it's like Lucas says.
Put the badge down, Nils.
But after all, it's his kinfolk, Micah.
Put the badge down. I know you must have reasons for feeling the way you do, Lucas, but this town still has to operate on the basis of law and order.
Mike, I want you to send Gibbs away.
I can't do that. I already gave him my word.
You don't know what he did, Micah.
Mark, wait outside, son.
Pa, you gotta tell him. You gotta make him understand.
Mark, wait outside, son, please.
I never thought I'd see Mark so filled with hatred for another human being.
Or maybe it's because Gibbs deserves it.
The only Gibbs I know is an old man willing to die to see his grandson.
Come in. Well, now, you'd be Mark. There's no mistaking that. You'd be Mark. Come in. Come on in. Well, boy, do you know who I am?
Yeah, I know.
Who am I?
You're the man who killed my ma.
Well, now, did your pa tell you that?
You trying to say he was lying?
No. Ain't trying to say he was lying, boy. He was telling the truth, your pa was.
You mean you admit it?
That's what I come here for, son. To admit it. Ask you to forgive me.
Forgive you?
That's right, son. Forgive me. I don't know if I killed Margaret exactly. But I'm admitting that I'm to blame just same as if I did kill her. Never admitted that to your pa. Never even admitted it out loud to myself either. I just kept running from the truth. Like I always run from everything. Till today. It was 11 years ago. That was a cold, rainy night. I'd rode just about as far as I could go. I was afraid your ma'd die if I didn't get back in time. I just thought that the one drink might give me the strength to go on. At least that's what I told myself. Well, when I got back, your ma was dead and buried. I went into that empty farmhouse. I looked out on your ma's grave. And I sat down to wait for Lucas to come.
Why?
I wanted him to kill me. Well, boy, you can go now. It ain't easy for a man to ask someone to forgive him. I can't do it a second time.
Mr. Gibbs, I came here to ask you to leave town before someone gets hurt.
You want me to keep running?
I want you to leave town.
All right, boy, I'll go. Be easier running away from gunmen than it's been running away from myself. Admitting all the wrong I've done to you. I'll be gone in an hour. Tell the marshal. Mark. I took pleasure in seeing you, boy. Good luck.
He's leaving, Paul. Mr. Gibbs is leaving.
How do you know that, Mark?
I went to see him. I asked him to. He promised he would. He said he'd be gone before the hour's up. Can we go home now, Paul?
Go on, Lucas, boy. Looks like it's going to be a quiet night after all.
He admitted it was his fault that Ma died. He said he came here to ask me to forgive him.
Did you forgive him, son?
No. I didn't think you'd want me to. Pa, are those the Shermans?
It's been a long, thirsty ride.
Well, that can come after we talk to the marshal.
We're gonna take the thinking machine now?
Yeah. You never know when you're gonna run into a stubborn man in this world. Go get it. Let's go.
Evening, Marshal.
Sit down and take it easy, Marshal. We just want to ask you a few questions. Close the door, Bob. Marshal, I said sit down.
Micah, Lucas's buckboard is...
Whoa. You stay here, son.
What are you gonna do, Pa?
Gibbs is my problem, Mark. I don't mean him to be yours or Micah's. Here.
You know, Marshal, when my ma gave us this time and glass, she said, boys, always give a man time to think about what he's dying for. He may decide he ain't worth it. I hope you've been thinking now, Marshal. Because when that sand runs down, you're gonna be dying for a man named Sam Gibbs. All I want to know is where he is. You ain't got much time.
No! Gibbs! Gibbs is at the hotel.
What room?
Room 12.
Little boy, you stay here.
Well, I want to go. Stay here.
Hold it. What's the trouble, cowboy? Can't a man go into the hotel without somebody throwing a rifle at him?
That depends. Micah! Micah! Micah, you all right?
Gibbs, did they get Gibbs?
No. He can stop running now.
Well, fresh air feels good, Lucas.
Yeah, it does. Well, as long as Doc Burridge is giving you a clean bill of health, Mark and I might as well go home. It's been a long day.
Yes, it has been that. For everyone.
Let's go, son.
Just a moment, Paul.
Marshal, I'll be going on back to Bensonville now. Got my little piece of land there. I want to thank you.
Don't thank me. Thank your son-in-law.
Forget it, Mike. He doesn't owe me a thing. What I did for you and Mark.
Oh, I know that, Lucas. I'd like to thank you anyway. And I just hope that someday you'll be able to stop hating me.
Now, look, Sam, I don't hate you. I just can't find it in me to forgive you.
Well, book says not hating is the first step toward forgiveness. I'll settle for that. Bye, boy.
Goodbye.
You want to tell him you forgive him, don't you, son?
I do forgive him, Paul.
Well, then I think you ought to tell him.
Mr. Gibbs? Grandpa?